Eccoci Monica, sì, ieri a quest'ora, quando ancora non ci fosse stato risultato, vi davamo conto degli ultimi sondaggi che riguardano il primo turno delle presidenziali, sondaggi che sostanzialmente vedono i principali quattro candidati davvero molto molto vicini tra loro, con un confronto sicuramente vantaggio, seguito dalla Le Pen, da Fillon e da Jean-Luc Mélenchon, ma con un alto numero di indecisi che davvero potrebbe aprire a qualunque scenario per il secondo turno. Oggi sarebbe l'ultimo giorno di campagna elettorale, anche qui c'è il silenzio elettorale il sabato, i tre principali candidati hanno deciso di ritirare i loro preferenze elettorali, stiamo parlando di Emmanuel Macron, di Marine Le Pen, di François Fillon, anche se la campagna elettorale anche quest'oggi ha dei toni molto alti e il terrorismo torna a essere uno dei principali temi della campagna elettorale.
Un, deux, trois, 1, 2, 3, Paris, Bordeaux, Le Mans, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, Paris, Bordeaux, Le Mans, Paris, Bordeaux, Le Mans, Paris, Bordeaux, Le Mans, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, Paris, Bordeaux, Le Mans, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
All right, guys, if you are joining us, you're watching Fox 5 Live here with myself, Molly Nevola, here in Washington, D.C., bringing you some live coverage of events. Today we have, of course, it is the memorial of Prince's death 1 year ago, April 21st. We're going to try to get you some live pictures out of Minneapolis. His home estate in Paisley Park is supposed to be filled with fans, as it was last year, from all over the world. This year they'll have a long day-long celebration into the night. We'll try to bring you some live pictures from Minneapolis. But first, before we miss this, I want to go back really quick to some tape playback of President Trump right now in the White House welcoming the Egyptian-American woman. She's just 30 years old, a charity worker in Egypt who was just recently released from being held by authorities for almost 3 years. She and her husband are back now stateside. We have one of our reporters locally here at Fox 5, Anjali Hempel, doing this story for later. I'm going to bring you that footage in just a moment.
Obama a démenti l'assisté Macron. Ah, surtout quoi inventer le il a dit qu'Obama l'avait appelé, ça fait genre, voilà, c'est jusqu'où ils vont aller aussi. Parce que l'équipe, alors, moi je pense que vous allez on mange ensemble, d'accord, tu leur dis. Pardon, c'était quoi dimanche? Ouais, c'était pas mal à la maison. Toi, t'amèneras ton ami aussi, hein. Tu le préviens? Tu restes, on reste. On amène la femme des fois qu'elle est son ami. On joue en direct alors? Ouais.
All right, guys, we're actually going to switch gears a little bit here. I don't have that footage anymore. That was a very fleeting moment of President Trump with that woman, the Egyptian-American who has been freed after President Trump's intervention. If I do have that video again, I'll bring you more of that information. But first, over to Paris, it looks like we are awaiting someone speaking here at a presser having to do with yesterday's alleged terror attack on the Champs-Elysees. Of course, if you have heard about this happened yesterday evening. One police officer was fatally shot, and then in turn, the suspect himself was shot. Now, police are searching the home of that suspect, who is believed to be ISIS-related. They are calling him an Islamic radical at this time. And what we know is that this is not the first time that Paris has been through this. We've seen multiple attacks on Paris in 2015, in 2016, and now this yesterday, right in the middle of that main thoroughfare right in Paris, if you guys are familiar. So we did have some live pictures of that memorial that went up. There's a large crowd outside of where that shooting took place, lots of flowers, lots of gifts, and some musicians singing and whatnot. We don't have that anymore from APTN, but if we do, I'll bring that back to you so you can see a live picture of what it looks like on the streets of Paris today. But it looks like we are waiting on someone to speak about an update possibly on this terror attack from yesterday. When we have some more information, I'll come back to you. You're watching Fox 5 Live.
Ouais. 1, 2, 3 quoi? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ouais, là je suis devant le micro, tu me vois? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. Parfait.
Rien n'a changé, on a fait
Personne n'a appelé, ça veut dire que personne le signal. Et c'est quoi ça? Comment tu peux le dire?
Hey guys, if you're watching, just checking in with you to make sure you're still there. We're efforting some technical difficulties, but we will be up in a second. We're still waiting on a statement in Paris, so right now we don't have a shot of that update for you, but when it comes, we will bring that to you live. So new information hopefully coming out of Paris, France, after yesterday's attack, that shooting that left one police officer dead and the suspect dead. So that is going to be coming up next for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm Molly Nevola in Washington, D.C. We're hoping to bring you some Prince memorials out of Minneapolis as well later coming up this afternoon.
Shit, I wish I knew you were selling it. My brother, that's all I'm gonna shoot with me. When my daughter was in, she lives in France now. He likes it, he played in the I was over there right before graduation, and I was there one night, Saturday, sitting at the it's outside the I sat down to you that was exactly what I was doing. Just treats me. And I wasn't moving. I wasn't moving. I was sitting in the same seat. I had so much fun. It's nice players. That would be that's what that part of the money for us so bad. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I said, well, look at her song. And he goes, what? I said, I'm in. I said, you have our friends? You don't know who he is? The decisive moment. You don't know who he is? I said, I don't know why you need to go. I never put it. And then talking to me today, that didn't work. Yeah. They could do that. Like the other day, yeah, I mean, I'll try to like throw the ball over the other. Never playing catch. Yeah, right. So long. All right. I remember staying at Roosevelt. Used to bring bananas and and I remember the first time I saw him.
I didn't see you there, and I saw you there first.
Come on! Had a patch, man.
The car pulled out right as I was coming up that street, and I figured you would start backing out.
Yeah, I guess. But you know, even at 35 now, with the 6 1 last. When you used to be able to be side by side line, 35 is score station. And now, you need at least a 50 and maybe a little longer. Yeah, yeah. It's just the network crew in general. Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, field position. You put yourself on there. Yeah.
They changed all.
I'll tell you what, they can 200 to 400%. It's only limited. You cover the whole shower. They don't have to drop them. So on the side of that ring, you flip the switch. It's basically everything. So like you're in the end zone, right? And you're on one side of the field, and you're down closer to the shoot with the 204, you just rack it in.
I got that. They put in your credentials. Why was the other doing a burn? Why a freaking lamp? You know?
No.
Yeah. My great-grandmother. Right. My whole family came to my grandmother came to time when she was like a baby. My dad said Italian. That's the last name. So I have when they wanted to. Yeah. Because you were going to get pretty dark. Oh, no, the Burke one. Yeah, Burke they did. White is the ghost. It comes out white is the guy that goes. Baby sunscreen or something. You know, it's not obviously anything baby really is going to be intense. What? Whatever the standard stuff is. Right. I don't have the headphones on my desk. They're on my desk, I think. I mean, I have my own headphones, but I don't have the studio.
3 minutes. Waiting for us.
Yeah.
One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. One, two, one, two.
Yeah, and I was like a third.
Guys, hey, how you doing? If you're still with us, thanks for watching, and sorry about that. We had a brief little delay due to some technical problems, but we are back, and I want to make sure I bring you all the live, fun, breaking events that we have today. Of course, there is the Paris Memorial going on. Whenever we have a interesting live feed from over in Paris from yesterday's shooting, I want to bring you that and any updates that we might get. Of course, it is also Prince. The anniversary of his death 1 year ago today. He was found in an elevator by, apparently the medical examiner said, a self-administered overdose of fentanyl. He was found in an elevator around 9:30 a.m. that morning 1 year ago today. And since then, there have been memorials across the nation and across sort of the world, essentially for music fans. And today in Minneapolis, we should be having some live pictures coming from there of what they are doing in the wake of his death and surrounding his estate at Paisley Park. So for now, though, something breaking right now. If you guys remember, obviously the Aaron Hernandez case has been a big talker this week. His suicide, the mother of Odin Lloyd, if you remember, that was the man that Aaron Hernandez was convicted of killing. His mother is going to address the court, and I have a live picture right now of this courtroom. Check it out. This is up in Boston, and this woman, his mother, is going to be chatting about the issues surrounding the continued prosecution of the wrongful death lawsuit that they filed against Hernandez's estate. So that's particularly what she's speaking about. This is at Chef's Boston Law Office. Looks like she's coming up right now, so we're going to hear what she has to say.
Okay, have a seat. Okay. Would you close that door, please?
Yep.
Good afternoon. My name is Doug Sheff. I'm here with attorneys Don Grady, Kelsey Raycroft, and Frank Federico. And we are all privileged to represent Ursula Ward and the rest of Odin Lloyd's family. At the outset, I need to mention that over the past few days, Ursula has been inundated with inquiries and frequent visits to her home, sometimes imposing by members of the press. And we understand and we respect that you have an important job to do. But please, following this press conference, please respect her right to privacy and especially her right to space. We're honored to represent this loving mother, woman of peace, faith, and forgiveness. She believes that final judgment is in the hands of a higher power, and she accepts everything that's happened over the past few days as God's will. Now that the criminal cases are over, she is looking forward to her civil case, a wrongful death case, where the focus will not be on Aaron Hernandez. Frankly, she's heard enough about him. Where the focus will be on Odin Lloyd, his devotion, comfort, assistance, support, and love for his family. That's why she's here. Now, this wrongful death case has been pending for some time, and many months ago, we filed what is known as a summary judgment motion on the issue of liability, or the issue of fault, if you will. And we won that motion, which means that a court has already determined that Aaron Hernandez was indeed responsible for the death of Odin Lloyd. All that remains in our case is a determination of damages, or how much. Now, over the past few days, I think we've all heard of this, a term we hadn't heard previously or often, a legal technicality known as abatement. And I am no expert in that measure, that legal technicality of abatement, but I've spoken to many who are, and they say that it may in fact lead to a payout of up to $6 million from the New England Patriots regarding the contract between the team and Mr. Hernandez. We want everyone to know that right now there is an order in effect in this case that mandates that no such payments will or can be made until the court is advised, until counsel are notified, until we know about it, so that we have an opportunity to intercede and to make claim for that money. And that's exactly what we intend to do. And now our case against Mr. Hernandez will simply become a case against his estate, and we hope and expect to recover those monies just described, as well as any other assets, such as the house that we have attached, such as the Hummer that we've attached, sold, and put those monies in the hands of the court, and any other assets available for Ursula Ward and her deserving family. Now it's time to do something perhaps a bit unusual, but in our estimation, appropriate. We want to issue a very friendly challenge to the New England Patriots. Best team in the NFL. Come on, nothing like them. Nothing like them. undisputed world champions of football. But we want to provide the Patriots with an opportunity to become something more. Not just champions of football, but to become champions of justice. We urge the New England Patriots to work with the Players Association to voluntarily make these payments, of little consequence to the team, of tremendous assistance to these struggling, deserving families who are hurting, like Ursula's. That would be the best thing to do. That would be the right thing to do, and that would make the Patriots Ursula Ward's champion. Now at this point, I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask Ursula to take some questions. But as you've just heard, she is not interested in discussing Aaron Hernandez. She is here, and I must warn you, she won't answer questions about that. She's here to answer questions about Odin, about their family, what they're going through, what they look forward to, her wrongful death case, how she feels. Those are all okay, but not about Aaron Hernandez. So please refrain. And if I will direct the questions, she will answer them. If she decides not to answer one, please don't do what we lawyers do and keep asking the same question in a different form, okay? Be respectful. Yes.
Ursula, do you feel you still have justice in this case, especially if, because of the abatement document, there's a chance that the conviction could be vacated? Do you still feel that you have justice in this case?
I do.
Can you talk about that a little bit more?
You could say.
Why do you still feel
justice
like
is still served,
still
even if
served
the
in this
conviction
case?
is gone?
You can step to the mic.
Thank you.
Because no matter what, the jurors found him guilty. So that in my book, he's still guilty in my book and in my family's book.
Do you worry about any legal technicalities for your family affecting the civil case?
No.
What makes this civil case so important to you and your family?
It's not about the civil case. It's about my son, Odin Lloyd. It's about families that lost their loved ones, and we need justice. Justice. There's so many families out there in the world that doesn't have the opportunity that I have right now to speak on their family's behalf because the media is not involved in their life. There's so many unsolved murders out there that the medias are not involved in. And it's not even about Odin Lloyd. It's about the person that committed the crime for Odin Lloyd. If it wasn't for that, you guys wouldn't be here to ask me questions about Odin Lloyd. So today I'm speaking up for Odin Lloyd and for the families out there that is fighting for justice and doesn't have the voice that I can provide for them.
What would you like to say to the Patriots? Your lawyer did. What would you like to say? To your family.
She doesn't want to answer that question. Next question.
Ursula, has this week opened up old wounds for you and your family? How are you guys doing?
It has, especially when there's evidence that is showing through the media of what transpired in the courtroom that open up old wounds for me, especially as a mother. And you will never know, and you will never understand unless you're in that boat of the tremendous loss. I lost my best friend. I lost my son. I lost the love of my life. I lost a strong bone in my family that I would never ever see. Even having a child. She said, "Ma, you have a grandson by me, or a granddaughter." All that was wiped away from me when he was 27 years old. So, with all this, I am just saying I'm sorry to all our families that has been affected by this. Not only my family, but it has other families also that is affected by this, even his family.
So with that, I give them a heart to God and ask God to strengthen them like He has strengthened myself and my family, and comfort them in every way possible. Because we are one body in Christ, no matter what we do. We all are one body in Christ.
Prosecutors won for you a criminal conviction. Your lawyers won for you a civil responsibility claim. What would a monetary award mean for you and your family?
There's no amount of money in the world can bring Odin back. None. And even if there's not a penny involved into this, it has nothing to do with my justice today for Odin Lloyd.
So why do you pursue it? I mean, there obviously must be a reason.
Because it has other families out there that can benefit from stuff. When you sweep stuff under the rug, no one is there to clean it up. And if there's a way that someone else can make a voice to let it happen, I'm going to use my voice to let it happen.
Wait. One at a time, and just please raise your hand so I can call on you. Yes.
Have you spoken to the families of Sapiro Furtado and Daniel De Abreu, and if so, what have you said to them, or if not, what would you want to say to them?
That we are one family right now. I hold their hand like they're holding mine, and I hug them like they're holding mine family. So I just want to tell them that I love them, and regardless of what we are going through right now, we have a higher judge, a judge that is going to take care of us and give us the strength that we need to move on further than this. The road is not for the swift, but who can endure it to the end. And my family is going to endure this to the end, so as the Furtado family and the Abreu family.
Well said. Well said.
You talked about, after the conviction, you talked about forgiveness. Do you still feel forgiveness?
I do. And I pray to God that his soul is at peace. I pray to God that he find comfort, and God will forgive him of whatever happened.
Hey, Ursula, I know you've talked a lot about keeping Odin's memory alive. What are some of the things that you sort of do now to sort of make sure that happens?
We have done scholarship through the O'Brien. We raise money as a Black Party every year. I've gotten support from the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute, which we walk every Mother's Day. And in that walk, we are one family. So, and I am getting my strength through that company because of the sanctuary. They have a sand area with different colors that you go in and you create your own world. And after you create your own world, after I create my own world, I feel like I'm walking into the world that I created for myself. So that company is one of the best companies here in Boston, that we are not focusing on these people that are helping us to be the people we are today.
Yes.
You said things have been swept under the rug and there can be no justice in that case. What things are you referring to?
I'm just speaking in general. I'm not actually speaking of this particular case. I'm just saying there's so many things happen around the world that families are not getting justice because things have been hidden from families.
They don't get the media attention. I think she's trying to say they don't get the media attention that this case gets, but people lose loved ones unjustly every day, and she's here to support and to represent and have a voice for all those people. Those are our conversations.
Mr. Sheff, do you have any concern that a vacated judgment, if it happens, would affect the ruling that you won?
No.
No, you don't think anybody can turn that back saying he's not convicted anymore, therefore you have to go through a lengthier proceeding to gain it?
No. First of all, you know, there's an old saying, timing is everything. We did the right things at the right time, and I think any well-reasoned judge is going to uphold that summary judgment motion. That's called the law of the case. That lives on. So we're not concerned.
Can you realistically expect the Patriots, with whatever controls are in them and the Players Association, to come forward with money? They'd be under legal obligations, I would assume.
I can't speak to what the Patriots will do. We issued them a friendly challenge. They are also under they're having their own arbitration proceedings I'm not privy to, so the money might come anyway. But it sure would be nice if they took us up on our invitation.
Doug, what was that amount that you requested?
Well, we heard $6 million. We heard that that's what could potentially be released by the experts in abatement. I don't.
Do you have an idea if he has anything besides that? Obviously, that's a windfall to his estate.
Well, that's right. We have not yet completed discovery. We've had to hold back on discovery with respect to assets as a result of the criminal cases. But we certainly are going to forge ahead, and there may be other assets as well. There's the house. There's the money from the Hummer. There's anything that we can discover, and anything that might come from those contractual proceedings.
Can you say exactly why the $6 million? Can you break that down into pieces?
I'm only repeating what you folks educated me about. I read $6 million, so that's what we say.
Can you explain that process a little bit more? Is that because his contract must be respected, must be fulfilled if he no longer, if abatement occurs and the conviction is vacated?
I wish I could, and I wish we had more access and were privy to more information going on in these proceedings. We've tried, but really they don't seem to be too concerned with our rights, which I wish they would. I wish we would learn more from the folks involved in that litigation. But we don't have the documents. We don't know where they're at in those proceedings.
So at what point can you specify the damages that you are seeking?
Oh, we could specify that at any point, and we will likely do that at the damages trial. We don't have to do that, but now in Massachusetts we have a right to state a specific amount, which wasn't even so just a few years ago.
I think a lot of people wonder, does Aaron have any money left? And to that you would say, what? Does he?
That's a very good question, and we wonder the same thing.
Do you have an inkling though? Do you have an inkling that he has $1 left, or that he has $10 million left, or something in between?
I can't speak to that at this time.
And Ursula, how does this help
One at a time, please. You first.
Specifically, why I feel like Patriots have maybe an obligation or a duty to pay out this money to the families. I mean, clearly, Aaron Hernandez in this case was found responsible. Why specifically money from the New England Patriots?
Didn't say they had a duty or a responsibility. We simply made an invitation. Next.
Ursula, how does this? It was Odin a provider for your family in ways. So how does this help? If you were able to get these monies, how does this help you and your family?
It would help with the scholarship. Basically, you help others.
So you would use the money towards a scholarship
To help other people.
And does it help your family as well?
I'm not gonna lie, it would, but like I said, it would more help families that is in need of scholarship for their family going forward to college.
Ursula
so you
Ward,
want to pay it forward if you were to receive these?
Yes.
In addition, she's been working very, very hard. Odin was a supporting member of that household, and she lost that. It's twice as hard for her. She struggles to make it happen. She won't tell you that. I'll tell you that. Next. All right. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wow, so a compelling statement there from Odin Lloyd's mother. So a quick background on this. This is who you're seeing right now. This is Odin Lloyd's mother and her attorney, Chef. He's out of Boston, speaking about how they want to find a conclusion to the wrongful death lawsuit that they were seeking. They're seeking money now from the New England Patriots. So you heard, if you were listening earlier, you heard him say roughly the number is $6 million. His mother invoking the name of God multiple times and bringing a lot of emotion into how she lost her best friend, her son, this person obviously very, very important for her life. And this was a quick background on the case. This was in 2013. Odin Lloyd was picked up from his house by Aaron Hernandez, brought to an industrial park, and shot 6 times. He was 27 years old, which makes Aaron 24 years old at the time, Aaron being 27 this year. I'm going to come back to our shot here. So that was a quick little press conference there in Boston. So that's the background of the murder, and now she's looking to seek this money. And you heard Chef say himself, we're seeking this money. We're hoping the New England Patriots come forth in justice and want to be part and want to be part of this rather than forcing them. He wants them to come forward and be like, here's this money. So Aaron Hernandez was under a $40 million contract with the New England Patriots at the time of Odin Lloyd's murder. So that's another interesting stat. And you heard one of the reporters ask, does he have any money to his name now? Does he have $1? Does he have $10 million? And that could not be spoken to at this time. So some interesting stuff coming out of this case. This is a huge talker this week. I don't think it's ending anytime soon. We also had yesterday a little update from defense attorney Jose Baez on Aaron Hernandez's brain, which they are seeking to be analyzed from the medical examiner. Apparently the medical examiner will not release the brain. It is being held right now, and that was a little bit of a contentious thing yesterday. I'm going to bring you this video from yesterday of defense attorney Jose Baez, who spoke out on this yesterday afternoon for the first time since Aaron Hernandez's suicide in his jail cell. Here's Jose Baez yesterday.
Short notice. An issue has arisen, and we thought we would bring it to the public's attention because it's of great public importance. Everyone's well aware of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which is, in short, is known as CTE. The family of Aaron Hernandez has decided to donate Aaron's brain to this study so that we could possibly help other young men who decide to play football and to help further that cause, and also possibly shed light and more evidence on this case. We made arrangements for Boston University's CTE unit to take possession of Aaron's brain. We made these arrangements with the medical examiner yesterday. It was completely agreed upon, and we had, in fact, the Boston University CTE unit coordinate the removal of Aaron's brain in utilizing the proper procedures so that the study can be done properly. Now, there are very specific protocols that are involved so that this can be done correctly, and that the results can be defined accurately. And it is extremely important that these protocols are followed. From one day to the next, the medical examiner's office here, specifically a Dr. Niels, has determined that his office will retain the brain of Aaron Hernandez, and that their office is better equipped than Boston University's CTE unit, which is the most renowned unit in the world as it relates to CTE studies. And it is our position that they are holding Aaron Hernandez's brain illegally. They have released the body and withheld Aaron's brain, and it is their position that there's a fixing procedure in order to take the specimens, and it is their position that they are going to be the ones to do the fixing procedure. And we do not know, and the family does not have confidence in this medical examiner's office, specifically given the history of this case, the history of missing evidence, the history of misconduct, and the issues that came out in this trial of certain things that were done by the medical examiner's office which did not follow proper protocols. Things were missed. We do not have confidence in the medical examiner's office here. We have and there is absolutely no reason for them not to have confidence in the world-renowned unit, CTE unit, at Boston University. So we wanted to bring it to the public's attention so that everyone is aware of this gross mishandling of something so sensitive and to the dignity of this family who is in mourning right now, and the fact that they're going through enough, and now we have to have a battle over the one person's decision, and that's what we believe it is. I think what the issue is, I would hope that each and every one of you will go inside this office here and ask for answers, because they're certainly not giving us proper answers, specifically ones that make any medical sense whatsoever, and we plan on holding them and taking them to task on it. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy.
Do you have any evidence that Aaron Hernandez is suffering from CTE?
Are you suggesting that the brain injury had to do with the apparent suicide of Aaron Hernandez?
We're not suggesting anything. And here's one thing that you have to understand. When you conduct an investigation, you don't look for a specific result. You go where the evidence takes you. Right now, this is part of our investigation where we need to examine every aspect of this case. And this is an important one, of course. We're very lucky that Boston University is right here in your backyard, and we want to take full advantage of the resources. And not only that, the good that can go to donating Aaron's brain to future boys who decide to play this game, and girls who decide to play this game, and there may be significant risks involved. And if they can learn anything from Aaron Hernandez's brain, we certainly want to.
So what are you concerned about, Jose? Are you suggesting or do you suspect that Aaron Hernandez was suffering from CTE?
Again, you don't make a conclusion without looking, and that's what we're doing. We're looking, and we're leaving no stone unturned, as I promised this family I would do. As you've seen, the way we try our cases, that you don't leave any stone unturned. You do things right. And the culture of misconduct and the culture of negligence that goes on in this town is befuddling. It's unbelievable that they would engage in this type of conduct, especially when everyone is watching.
Jose, the Department of Corrections said this was a suicide. Do you accept that this was in fact a suicide?
We'll accept the complete investigation and the determination after the investigation is complete. So as it relates to whether it's a suicide or not, we don't make that call again until everything is done.
Are you suspicious it may not be?
Why are you skeptical of the conclusion that it was a suicide?
Why are you so quick to accept their word, especially when you look at the history of this case and the history of the things that went on in the courtroom? Many of you were there. I recognize many of you. Some I don't, but many of you do, and you saw day in and day out of things that were not being done correctly, even including this office. So that's not something we're going to accept.
What was the last time you had spoken to him? Spoken to the night before his death? Had anyone spoken to him?
We're here to discuss this specific issue of the medical examiner's office illegally maintaining possession of a part of Aaron's body when they have released the body to the family. The family should be able to have the dignity of a proper service and the proper possession of Aaron's remains, and they have not done that. And that's something that is unconscionable.
Can you talk about his mental state the last time you were able to speak with Aaron Hernandez?
Now, let me answer one question at a time. What was the question?
Are you going to file a lawsuit against the ME's office?
We're going to take whatever steps are necessary, including actions in court, and if we need to name specific individuals in a civil lawsuit, that's exactly what we'll do.
And can you speak to his mental state in the last time that he spoke with Aaron?
I'm a lawyer, not a psychiatrist, so I can't do that.
But did you learn about his family, how his fiance is doing, and information on it?
You know, I respect the privacy of Shayana Jenkins Hernandez and Abiel Hernandez, and I won't speak to anything of a private matter.
Can you talk about this saying you learned of the suicide, of the death of Aaron Hernandez yesterday? What was your initial reaction to that?
Okay, again, we're going off topic here. The reason that we're here today is to specifically address this issue that is a critical issue to Aaron Hernandez's family. If you have any questions about that, I'm more than happy to answer those.
That he may have suffered from this condition, and it sounds like you're making the connection that it was somehow related to his death.
Those are your words, not mine. I specifically said what we need to do is we need to leave no stone unturned, and we need to specifically do everything possible to find out what happened. Why not? Doesn't everyone want to know?
Did Mr. Hernandez test that brain for CTE, and what are their credentials to do that?
That's a question I would love for you all to ask them.
What did they say to you?
Was that his
They're specific. I'm sorry, can you repeat the
Yeah,
question?
what did the ME's office say to you? Are they gonna test it, and what are their credentials?
They're telling us that they specifically wanted to do the fixing process, which we're not sure if they know how to do it, B, have the proper protocols and the proper setting to do that, and C, have any experience in doing that. We do know Boston University is the finest lab in the country to be able to do this, and they're well aware of that, so why not let the experts do it?
Are you in touch with Boston
This is not amateur hour, and the medical examiner's office here shouldn't decide to play
Jose,
amateur
what is it
hour.
that you're specifically concerned about, information that you think will be lost if the brain stays here and does not go to BU?
Because if it's not fixed properly, if it's not preserved properly, they won't be able to take proper specimens, and we won't be able to get the information and the knowledge we want. It is literally a destruction of evidence issue, and that is the problem that we're having here. And that's why we want you all to go in there and ask them the tough questions and to find out why they are deciding to withhold part of Aaron's body and not deliver the entire body to his family like they deserve.
indication they're going to be conducting this kind of study? They're going to be looking into this as well, or this is something that you wanted?
Well, there would be no reason for them to withhold the brain and for them to advise us that they are planning on doing the fixing process, which would be required to be able to take the specimens.
Did this office say that after it does the fixing process, it's going to turn the brain over to BU?
They're being very vague about what their intentions are when they're deciding to turn over
Aaron Hernandez have
brain.
any
Hold on. I'm still answering his question, please, sir. So that's the issue. They're being extremely vague, which tells me they don't have the proper protocols in place, because if they had proper protocols, rules and regulations, they would be able to tell us, this is the procedure, we need to do this, we need to do that. And at this time, we'll be able to turn over Aaron's complete remains to the family.
What have they told you?
Now, I heard somebody with an English accent back there.
Do you know if he had any concussions to play football? My understanding is the only concussion he had was playing football well at high school. He had none at college, none in the NFL.
Well, I don't know how you would know that.
From reports.
Okay. News reports?
Yeah.
Please.
That's my understanding.
Okay, well, I don't consider that
Okay.
Do
you know of any concussions that he had while playing?
Again, that's not the issue as to whether there are concussions. My understanding is that these studies, that there's a lot more knowledge that can be gained from a CTE study than just simply concussions.
What's happening now with the
Yes,
brain?
sir.
Does this cast doubt in your mind on whatever conclusion the ME is going to have, whether Aaron Hernandez committed suicide or whether he was a victim of foul play?
I have serious questions as to their ability to conduct this study, and I have serious questions as to why they would tell us one thing on one day and do a complete 180 the next.
So they said
And
they
that's
were gonna
oh yes, we had just so we're clear, we had made arrangements for Boston University to come today at 10 a.m. to pick up Aaron's brain, and at the last minute they decided that was not something they were going to do. So this is something that they don't even know what they're doing. They can't even get out of their own way. And that concerns us. That concerns Cheyenne Jenkins Hernandez and, of course, the rest of Aaron's family.
That extends to the autopsy itself, beyond the brain. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Are you also investigating how he died? Are you not accepting suicide?
We're investigating everything. We're not rejecting anything. We're keeping all of our options open, which is what everyone else should be doing.
On the timeline, have they begun the fixing process? Are you concerned about that they're beginning this now?
That's why you're all here. We want you to go in there right now and ask them questions.
Jose,
and get to the bottom of this.
Jose, I know you can't get into his head, but based on his reaction in court at the verdict, based on what people have said to him since the verdict, who have talked to him, what you know about him, I guess, why are you skeptical? What makes you skeptical that
Byron, we
suicidal?
released a statement yesterday. We stand by that statement. We're here today to prevent something tragic from happening to his remains, and to something that could prevent us from all having the truthful answers to what happened here, and something that could prevent the future of boys and girls who decide to play football, and what could possibly help them in the future.
Has BU been in contact with the medical examiner's office?
Yes, they have.
And how concerned are they that this medical examiner?
I can't speak for Boston University.
Are you aware of any discipline and corrections officers related to his death?
again, we're here for this specific issue, and these are the questions I'm willing to answer at this time.
Jose, can you
If
tell
you don't
why
have,
they will
hold
not
on a
turn
second.
over the brain?
I'm sorry?
Have they given you a reason why they will not turn over the brains to you?
Their reasoning is that they are going to do the fixing process, and that they are going to actually do the specimens. Why and how all of a sudden the Boston Medical Examiner's Office decides to be a CTE unit, I have no idea.
Have they ever done it before?
That's
What's their
something you'll have to ask them.
Jose, can you talk about what was found in the cell, the 316 on his forehead?
I'm here to talk about this. I don't know where you're getting your factual information from. If it's a confidential source, of course I'm not going to address something so ridiculous as that. But I'm here to address specifically this issue.
So there was no 316 on his forehead?
If you have no questions specifically dealing with this...
Was there 316 written on his forehead?
You understand what I'm saying?
I am, but I'm asking you. You know.
I want you to... How do I know? Was I there?
You're at the autopsy?
First of all, you have to understand that I'm here to address this specific issue. If you don't have any questions about this, I need to keep you all on point, because this is a critical issue.
Where does it go? Where are you going from here in terms of this issue? How are you moving forward?
Well, if we don't get answers quickly, we're going straight to court.
What do you believe?
We'll file.
I'm going to jump in right here just to remind you guys, this was an interview yesterday with attorney Jose Baez, Aaron Hernandez's defense attorney. You heard just moments ago, that was Fox 25 Boston's reporter Bob Ward asking him about the John 3:16 that some reports have allegedly said was written on Aaron Hernandez's forehead. He would not answer questions about that, but I do have to say, he, in response to this situation, this interview, the medical examiner's office did release a statement actually saying that they're conducting this investigation regarding the circumstances around Hernandez's death, and it may require further analysis of his body and his brain. But they are in no way, they say, quote, no one is going to stand in the way of the family's wishes for Boston University to have Aaron Hernandez's brain. So they do have, apparently, according to their statement, an intention to hand that over. This little media availability was essentially for Baez to express his disdain for the medical examiner's office of Boston not handing over that brain. So a little contention there with the medical examiner's office and his attorney, Jose Baez, and also questions still surrounding what exactly happened in that cell. I think this whole case is going to go on and will be talked about for a long time, because people are talking about finding physical evidence in the cell, some handwritten letters, they're saying, the John 3:16 reference possibly markered on his forehead. We don't have an official report of that, but just different logs of the physical evidence from the night of his death there in the cell. I'm going to bring you back to our cameras here in Washington, D.C. I'm Molly Nevola, bringing you live events and breaking news. That was an interview from yesterday regarding Aaron Hernandez's brain donation and further analysis surrounding his death and circumstances surrounding his death. So an interesting case for sure that is ongoing. We're going to bring you over now to live pictures in Paris. This is Paris, France here, the memorial that has been set up after one police officer was found or was killed yesterday in an attack. They say the suspect who shot the officer is also dead, so 2 dead in this terrorist attack that they believe is ISIS related. Now, ISIS did claim to be connected to the attack, and the gunman who was shot by police has been detained. And, excuse me for a second. The shooter was identified as 39-year-old Frenchman who apparently acted alone and wounded 2 others and a German tourist. That was last night, Thursday night. The attacker opened fire on the police van on the Champs-Elysees, that famous thoroughfare with all the shops in Paris. So this is a live shot of that memorial that has been set up there in Paris. And you're looking at live shots of Paris here, this memorial. Now, U.S. Vice President Mike Pence did comment saying that the shooting was the latest reminder that terrorism can strike anywhere, any time. And he added that the U.S. is not going to relent in our effort to end terrorism. So Paris, obviously being a victim of terrorist attack throughout the last few years. We saw the big mass attack that killed around 130 people in the amphitheater, the concert venue. Also, other attacks on the metro system and others. Paris has been definitely a place that has been ravaged by these ISIS attacks. So no different last night when we saw some live pictures coming out of Paris. One police officer dead, another wounded, or a German tourist wounded, and then the shooter himself dead. You can see here these people gathering around the memorial. Lots of flowers, lots of people taking pictures, some live musicians I was hearing earlier. All right, we'll come out of that shot of Paris. We can bring you back to it in a moment, but also a memorial today for Prince, the legend, the rock legend. That was 57 years. He was 57 years old when he died 1 year ago today. We have a little bit of a video memorial to show you guys that we've been passing around. Take a look at this. A look back to when we lost the icon Prince 1 year ago.
As news leaked of Prince's passing, a crowd trickled in with the raindrops, bringing with them emotions that ranged from sad to stunned.
Please tell me my friend isn't gone. And I'm like, I don't think so. It's not real. It's not real. So it is still so unreal to me.
I'm just devastated.
It was really solid for him to come back to his roots after going out to LA and California and doing that whole gig and coming back here and bringing his music back home.
I don't mind letting the kids into something that they actually help preserve. It's their continued support of my music that allows these doors to stay open.
A little bit of sound difficulty there, but we hope that you were able to get the gist of that video. Just a look back at a year ago when we lost the Minnesota music icon at 57. You saw that last shot was that gorgeous rainbow that was over that Paisley Park, I believe, last year during his death. So cloudy skies and no purple rain, but just a beautiful rainbow to commemorate. Famous shot that went viral last year, so they ended the video with that shot. We're going to bring you back to a live shot of Paris. Right now, the ongoing memorial for the terrorist attack yesterday. Apparently, details came out that the police officer was actually shot in the head yesterday by an Islamic radical who was known to authorities there in Paris. And you can see here just people gathering around this memorial with flowers and signs. The attack actually also has forced an early end to campaigning. The French presidential election set to take place on Sunday, and the campaigning had to kind of come to a halt yesterday, but definitely a little disruption in daily life and in political life there in France yesterday evening. All right, guys, and I think we are going to close it out now with this shot. So please feel free to follow us on social media, Fox 5 DC on all platforms. And don't forget to tune in to this midday show to catch all the live happenings across the world, internationally, and across the nation. And of course, local coverage as well for interesting stories and breaking news. I'm Molly Nevola. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with a shot of Paris, the Paris Memorial, as we close out Fox 5 Live for today, Friday the 21st. Also, the day in memory of Prince. We hope that you get out there. Maybe you attend the dance party that's happening tonight in Silver Spring if you're a local viewer. Silver Spring is hosting a dance party tonight from 9 p.m. all the way to 3 a.m. I also hear that there's going to be a dance party at 14th and U, right in the middle of the crossroads of 14th and U Street in D.C. This afternoon around 4 p.m. So maybe you'll be a part of that. Maybe we'll grab some of your video to use, or we'll find you there ourselves. Have a great Friday, guys. We'll leave you with the shot of Paris Memorial live from Paris.